Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. The Kearsarge Food Hub is on a mission to reinvigorate our community within a restorative local food system through cultivating food sovereignty, growing engaged learners, and nurturing community. Hanna Flanders now introduces us to the first in a series of videos to educate us about this mission. Hi, Hanna.
Okay, Hanna Flanders here. We are at Sweet Beet Market and Cafe. You might know the Market and Cafe for our delicious products, but we are part of the Kearsarge Food Hub. We are a nonprofit food hub serving the greater Kearsarge region for the past nearly 10 years, if you can believe it, starting as a little farm stand down the street. As a nonprofit food hub, some of our work includes lifting up other organizations throughout the region, New Hampshire, Vermont, and the surrounding area that are doing similar work to us, building bridges between farmers and food producers in our region and consumers, people who eat food, which is all of us. And that work is super important. And that is the focal point of our annual event called Love Local, Meet Your Farmers and Makers. And this year, 2024, or last year, depending on when you're watching this, we focused on these nonprofit food hubs working in the middle of the food supply chain to help support farmers with fair prices and selling their products, marketing their products, while also supporting consumers on the other end of that food supply chain, helping products to be available, to be affordable. And this work is done in many interesting, innovative, and creative ways. And that is what the videos and stories of Love Local are all about. So Food Connects is a food hub working out of Brattleboro, Vermont, that we've been working with here at Sweet Beet and the Kearsarge Food Hub basically since day one of running the farm stand. And what Food Connects does is works all along the Connecticut River Valley between New Hampshire and Vermont and Massachusetts, aggregating products from farmers and producers and then distributing them to retail stores, institutions, schools, and things like that. And they play a really important role of moving food throughout our region.
My name is Richard Barkfield, and here we are at the Food Connect's international headquarters in Brattleboro, Vermont. I am the founder and executive director.
My name is McKenna. I am the director of the Food Hub program, which is one of the programs under the umbrella of Food Connects, a nonprofit. Our vision is healthy families, thriving farms, and connected communities. And when I think about the distribution work of the Food Hub, those trucks are moving food through the community from the farms to the families and just really connecting all of that, hence the name Food Connects, right?
So the founding story of the Food Hub is a group of students were wondering why the elementary school was not buying apples from the orchard a mile up the road.
Like the first delivery was a case of apples in the back of a Subaru, classic, right? They couldn't do it through the distribution networks that the school could purchase through. And so someone just was like, fine, we'll do it ourselves. I mean, of course, many things happened in many different ways to get us where we are today, but that really was the first delivery of the Food Hub. You
know, now we've got half a dozen trucks and 17,000 square foot warehouse.
So 6 years ago, we did $400,000 worth of sales. This year, we're budgeting about $4 million worth of sales. When the food system was incentivized to go big, we lost a lot of those middle actors. And it's not just distribution, it's all across the board. Like the middle of the food system is kind of missing, and we're slowly trying to rebuild that. I don't necessarily know that every hyper-local community having its own food hub is also the answer. Like I think the regional relationships are really, really important. We want hyper-local and we want regional systems.
We heard from a lot of local food producers that they wanted access to new markets and that we needed trucking to be able to do that. We needed some cold storage. We needed staff people for sales. At the same time, we heard from schools and hospitals and retail stores that they wanted to access more local and regionally grown food, but it wasn't necessarily easily available through existing distribution routes. So it feels like we're really filling in a lot of gaps within central rural New England.
And it's tough though. It's tough work. Distribution's hard work.
It really is a challenge. We put ourselves in the middle of a farmer who wants to get as much as they can for their products and a customer who wants to pay as little as possible for their products. We feel the push and pull on both sides.
And I wish more people knew how hard some of this stuff was. Not only are you driving the trucks, not only are you carrying lots of heavy stuff and using equipment, you also are the point of contact with the customer. So like you're also giving customer service to every person you interact with. Like trucks break, right? Like reefer units break on trucks. It's hard with the weather, like snowstorms, mud season, much more weather events related to climate change happening. The nonprofit model definitely does help us succeed. It allows us to offer services that we might not be able to offer if this was purely on a for-profit basis.
For us, the importance is supporting producers and getting products into new markets. That requires us to spend a lot of time building relationships with producers on one hand and supporting them and getting ready to sell into wholesale markets, and then also ensuring that there are lucrative markets for them.
It allows us to spend more time providing technical assistance to a vendor wanting to enter the wholesale market. It allows us to maybe go to a customer that's not necessarily profitable on the route, but like we want to get to that customer. It allows us to do things differently, more creatively. More money stays in the community, more money goes back to the grower. Our deciding factor is not how much of a profit are we making on this transaction or relationship. It's like how many people are we helping? How are we starting to strengthen the system?
And food is a very low profit business to begin with. And so the support that we can get goes directly to support the farmers and the producers and at the end of the day, the end users and customers. What really drives me to do this work is I see these positive interventions within the food system as benefiting many of the issues and concerns that I have about our communities and our planet. You know, the more we can eat regional food, the better it is for our rural economies, dramatically decreasing our carbon emissions, social benefits of eating fresher and better food, also a lot of value for our education system when kids are eating better foods in schools, and all around just seeing this as the right thing to do for our communities.
What we do, the decisions we make every day, where we buy our food from, it really matters. I hear that a lot, that it's like, what am I to do? I'm just one person. But like, if you multiply that across thousands of people, like what power we have to make change in this system. Richard actually always says this, don't let perfect be the enemy of the good. And it's like, cool, like you can't buy everything local, but buy what you can. Yeah, you gotta go get this from the big store, but you can get that from the small store. Like that's great.
If everybody in New England spent $10 more a week on local food, that's a big number, and that will actually have a big impact on our regional food system.
Yeah, love local means so many things. To me, it kind of is more of a remembering. We are integrating old systems with new technology, new ways of thinking, but like we're also just remembering the way people used to do things before, and it's like we can mix these two things together. Love local is remembering. That's right.
And you can learn more about our work at the Kearsarge Food Hub and find these videos at kearsargefoodhub.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We continue this local food and regional food system education through those channels all year long. So I really hope that you tune in and join us.
Thank you, Hannah, and to the Kearsarge Food Hub's efforts to maintain a local source of good and sustainable foods. Next week, we'll step aside for the monthly edition of Cougar Chronicle as we learn about technical education at the high school, para-educators integrating old school into new school, and close with Ask the Superintendent about how to learn and get involved with the budgeting process. Join us again in 2 weeks at the same time as Ben Cody, the Library Youth Services Manager, will give us a rundown on their activities and services. Elizabeth Harper from the Lake Sunapee Protective Association will give us a rundown of the kid-centric activities available at the LSPA. Hanna Flanders will introduce us to the second of 3 videos, this one about New England's Fishermen's Alliance. And we'll close with Deborah Bacon, an artist whose work now hangs at Blue Loom Bakery in New London as part of the Center for the Arts Micro Gallery program. Tune into our Game of the Week as YCN is in tournament season. Replays are every Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. anytime on demand at ycnnow.com. Check the schedule at ycnnow.com for the most up-to-date information on games, Cougar Chronicle, Yankee Chronicle, and specials. We'll see you back here again in 2 weeks with an all-new edition of Yankee Chronicle, your who, what, where, and when show of the Lake Sunapee region. I'm Abby Peel. Enjoy our winter, everyone.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.